I'm actually pretty excited for this video. Today we are doing Steel Icarus. Previously we did Encore, but Steel Icarus launch Lars deep into the storm, launch Lars beyond the wall of clouds, rewards 32,000 survivor XP, which I'm pretty sure I desperately need, and one epic survivor. Now, Steel Icarus is the third to last campaign mission of the Plankerton Campaign. Do Steel Icarus, then Plankerton Defense 6, and then onward to Canny Valley, which is the rocket launch mission. And then we get to do Canny Valley Storm Shield Defense 1. But we're getting a little ahead of ourselves here. Steel Icarus, as far as I'm aware, I want to say that it's just like a regular Ride the Lightning mission where you defend the van, but I don't know, it could be slightly different. Before we get into that, I kind of forgot that I sent out an expedition. And I guarantee it had like a really low success rate, but I can't leave it. I have to see. It had a 66% chance, or 66.86, so not terrible, and it was a success. So we get okay. Actually, that's not bad. Expeditions can be really useful, especially when you actually have the stuff to take advantage of them and like actually get high like success rates. Because while I'm not even playing, like heroes that I'm not currently using can go out and actually obtain stuff, and by tomorrow I'll see if I see if I actually get that stuff. We have Steel Icarus, like I said, and I'm going to click play now. See how on the Plankton map it's bringing us not to like just a standard power 40 like Ride the Lightning or something, but to a completely unique zone, Lakeside Zone, Plankton, Steel Icarus. It's specifically for this mission, and it will disappear afterwards, just like a lot of other unique zone missions have in the past. I feel like it's just Ride the Lightning, but I don't know if there's any like core differences in the objectives or anything on this mission. I can't really say for sure. I'm going to be using my standard base Kyle loadout. Steel Icarus is actually a unique mission. I just noticed.
Lars, I've heard your concerns, and I've passed on van upgrade duty to a team of highly trained construction bots who are currently lost. But I'm sure they will do a very good job once you find out where they've wandered off to. Track down those construction bots when you're ready. You search, I'll scan.
So basically, we have to, unlike a traditional Ride the Lightning mission, which I think this does become later. We have to find the 6 construction bots that Ray mentioned, which I don't know anything about this mission. Like, I actually have no notes on this one. So I don't know if there's any specific easier way to find them. I will just head over to the exclamation mark on the map because that seems like the right place to start. So I guess we have the van.
Serious question. Have you noticed that your bots never do what they're supposed to do?
They work. I mean, they almost always have some catastrophic failure their first time out.
Uh-huh. And, how many times have you used these van bots?
This is their first time out.
Well, I suppose this is a small price to pay to complete Carlos.
Okay, so we do need to locate the construction bots still. Now, as I said, I don't have any notes, so I'm thinking I'm just going to roam like a circle around the map or something and see if they just naturally come up. Okay, and Okay, and these are just like the ones from Repair the Shelter,
The construction bot has been
where you have to
reactivated.
locate them. Maybe they have like an audio cue as well, just like in Repair the Shelter. I don't know. Don't take that as a fact. Okay, so she located another.
Has been located.
Where? Okay, near me. Okay, so maybe I just roam the map and then she locates them like as I get close enough in a radius. I have no idea. I kind of forgot this mission existed.
The construction bot has been reactivated.
There's one here. Nice. So at least I can now say that I found at least one all by myself.
The construction bot has been reactivated.
There it is.
The construction bot has been reactivated.
Okay, that was way more of a hassle than it should have been. Oh, there's the last one. You can see there's like a silhouette kind of thing of it.
The construction bot has been reactivated.
Okay, so now I've collected all the construction bots, and I assume I can go back to
Go talk
the
to
van.
Commander.
Yeah.
Begin the upgrade process whenever you're ready, Commander.
Uh, no elements or modifiers specified yet, so I'm going to build in metal, but I don't really think it's gonna matter in the end. I'm gonna get rid of these random blue weapons, and no, that's probably about it. I gotta take a moment and actually look at the spawns here. If I could get like 4 seconds without getting attacked, that'd be actually pretty useful. Okay, so up here, what should we do? Well, I don't like how much water there is here because enemies can probably use that. I don't even know anymore. I'm gonna block that. Maybe I'll make this like the way that I want enemies to go. And then I will try to see if I can walk that off. It doesn't have to be perfect because enemies won't walk the entire way around if there's like no point. The goal really is just to prevent them from walking a further way around. And if I do this, they're not going to try because they'll have to go really far, or they'll have to waste a lot of time breaking it when it's more likely that because they're not even spawning down here, that they're probably going to follow along this path anyways. Now I kind of hope that these spawns don't break the wall and the block off here. So I don't know. I hope it doesn't, but I get the funny feeling it will. And then I have to try to block enemies from possibly being annoying and taking this route instead, which knowing my luck, they will. Just as my luck that there's very opposing spawns. Not that that's actually a problem. Just would have been nice if they didn't have spawns that were in such weird terrains, but lakeside zones are always like this, I feel like. I am just going to build this. The whole point of this is enemies up here will still be blocked, and enemies down here will still be blocked from trying to use this way. I don't actually think enemies are going to try to go that way because this is a lot more of a direct route. It's just like knowing my luck, they will try to do that, or just for whatever reason, if something manipulates their AI, like an animal or something, out that way, I do want to have that accounted for as well. This tunnel is pretty basic. I'm mostly using the ceiling electrics just to ensure that these traps are going to be enough. Otherwise, if they do actually get over here, I expect them to be very weak, to which I'll probably have a defender placed somewhere later. I'm going to be using this turret just to destroy everything that's in my way, hopefully. Okay, yeah, that'll be enough. And then with the building out of the way. Wow, that looks like the very deep basement. That's fascinating. Okay, let's take a look at that. Oh, wow. It is actually a little deep in there. But there's a lot of rock and stone, is- so I can grab some of that. But having this basement can also help with pathing a little bit. But they are also spawning way out here, which I don't know if I really like that. Because it is a diagonal spawn and it is uh, over a lot of terrain that will possibly make blocking off their path or determining it to be a bit difficult. So that's why I'm going to just make it kind of a prediction, and then, you know, if I'm right, cool. If I'm wrong, I'll deal with the consequences. They are also spawning a little bit down here, which is going to be very annoying, and I can tell. Because, let's see. Well, enemies actually... No, never mind. There isn't a way up here without using this ramp. And even then, I might just try to block that off a little bit. So we have enemies spawning over here, mostly. So if we take a look at their spawn, it's very likely that they will want to walk, like, diagonally towards the objective over there. We can work with that, actually. Especially having the basement over here, that can help a little bit because blocking this off, I imagine they will still try to go straight because of possibly because of the ramp there. And so I'm thinking or no, do we actually path them through? No, that'd be longer. Okay, well, I actually have to be completely honest. I don't even know what to do. I'm actually confused myself. And so I'm thinking we will just try something stupid. I'm not going to say that I recommend doing what I do because I'm guessing and you know, so because I'm guessing this can either lead to conveniently it works or uh-oh, it doesn't work. And I don't really know which is more likely. Now thinking about it, I don't even know if this mission requires blue glow. Seems like something I probably should have tried to find out earlier. Screw it. Let's just do that. So I find it likely that enemies will try to take this way. And having this basement to path them around might help. This part of the tunnel, these last two tiles are going to be like the area where I try to make sure that enemies die. This wall launcher will push them into the basement there. This is very much like an incomplete tunnel, mostly just because the traps are kind of weird. I'm just using whatever I can actually afford. But because of enemies here, I'm worried that they're going to actually just attack these walls anyways. Even though it's a much further route from the actual objective, I still suspect enemies will try to do that just because. I don't know. Just because, I guess. And we have enemies down here, which I don't know what they're going to do, but I hope that they don't try to go all the way around the longest way possible, because that will actually be very annoying. I think that's probably fine. We'll see if things go chaotically wrong when the mission actually starts. And I'll probably place a defender on wherever needs it, or somewhere where a defender could possibly hit from both sides.
I dub thee Surfman.
It's a she.
And now she's a knight.
Please go look up what nights look like.
I'm sorry about what we did to your van. Me and the boss decided to do a little something. It's not perfect, but we recreated your mural. What do you think?
I don't know if the van's actual appearance changed. I wasn't even looking at that.
I'd like to be left alone for a minute.
Add blue glow to
I
prepare
mean,
for liftoff.
I mean, check it out. I mean, it's armored. She said add blue glow. Oh god. Yep. Requires blue glow. I should have expected that. Should have seen that coming, but I didn't actually. I didn't think about collecting blue glow because of the amount of time it took earlier to find the van repair bots. We do have enough blue glow to start the defense.
We've got a bonus in play.
I'm primarily worried about husky husks like these guys, which aren't dying on this side. And I don't know if they're dying on that side either. But as a possible solution, we place a defender pad here. Actually, it shouldn't be a weapon that's using the same ammo type as what I'm using. You can just use up what's left of that sniper. Sometimes for red lightning missions where you have these two different sides, I like to overbuild on one and then so then I have one that like I can be pretty confident in the fact that it'll be fine on its own, and then I can just kind of pay attention completely to the opposite side where I've done a lot less building on. In this case, I haven't done that, but oh, perfect. He stumbled into the pit there, which means he despawns there. Enemies used to just stay down those pits until you kill them. I wish they still did that, but you know. But I mean that does make it easier than actually having to kill them. They aren't actually going exactly the way that I was hoping they would, which works out really well for me, considering that I quite literally just guessed how I figured enemies might walk and tried to account for the idea of that this area existed. I am surprised that these enemies over here are actually taking this long route, but I guess going all the way down there and around and up there is a much more insanely ridiculous longer route. So maybe it shouldn't actually be surprising. Our sniper defender over here is just kind of taking care of anything that can walk out of the tunnel.
Bonus challenge success. Good job, team.
So I suppose I was semi-correct in saying that this is a traditional like ride the lightning mission, although it does have some core
Blue
differences,
glow,
like
get ready to defend the van.
uh having reinforced the van and the van upgrade bot collecting thing from earlier. But we can see this area got kind of wrecked, but I guess that's not going to be too important because as with red light normally, you can see the spawns have changed. And so now, unfortunately, I suspect I'm going to have to build through this building to account for the next wave. Or at least I'm going to have to build through some of this building to account for the next wave. I know I can't knock down all this building. All I'm trying to do is just reveal the basements and see, like, what can I use to my advantage here. Okay, actually, seeing the basement area now of this place, I think this won't actually be as bad as I was worried about. And so the reason why I say that is this basement is fairly large, but 2 by 2. But it also closes off the walkable path that enemies could take. And so I expect this is probably going to break later, so I'm gonna clear I'm gonna clear what I think is going to break later. And I think this entire set of walls here is likely to break, or at least like the majority of these ones because they are quite literally within a tile radius of the spawns. Go away. Okay, now actually going back to what I was saying, wasn't so rudely interrupted by enemies making so much noise over there. I don't think this is gonna be as bad as that is a patrol spawn for these enemies, isn't it? So I pray it is. Well, I have to pray that that'll go away. Yep, there it is. And that one's gone. Possibly up there? No, no, that's part of their spawn. That'll probably stay there. Damn. Uh, that is actually really unfortunate because that's going to destroy those that I just upgraded for no reason. And is probably going to require that I reopen this just in case because I think those enemies will go up there if that is not a temporary spawn. So, I mean, that horrendous little spawn up there aside, I actually don't think this is going to be too bad. Uh, I would love to start here, but I guarantee it'll break it because even though that's not super close, it's still a little too close for comfort. I should not have just boxed myself in like that. Now, I do need to break these roofs because I actually want to use the space up there. Maybe if I deploy, yeah, this will clear the space that I need, I think. May as well clear a little bit extras. Okay, I lost my train of thought while I was building this, to be honest. No, actually, that should be the opening. We'll make enemies walk in like a zigzag pattern. Hey, glad I didn't destroy that actually. Not that it would have mattered a ton, but like free stuff is free stuff. I would love to be able to change the perks on these to roll them to not have just infinite like that much durability compared to everything else because the durability is the core reason why these aren't like doing a ton of damage, I imagine. So I actually didn't need this tile at all. And while if I place one there would still actually affect enemies, I think this is still a better overall layout. The idea with these wall launchers is so an enemy will walk in here, get pushed back. Enemies here will get pushed back here. Enemies here will get pushed back, and it's a way to keep them from progressing through the tunnel too quickly, and give my traps a bit more time to damage them. I can't really afford to craft a lot of uh, walled darts for I think due to a limitation on mechanical parts. So I'm just gonna have to try to make these count. So I will only place them in the best spots for them. that can just go there just for no reason at all, just because I can place one there. And now I'm thinking, like, do I bother putting something here? I don't really know. I don't know if I need it. I'm gonna not place anything there, and then if I do need it, sucks to suck. It doesn't look like I have enemies coming from any other directions, just kind of this northeast area. And this area is already blocked off. Really? So enemies down in like a basement like this will despawn, but I guess he can just stay there forever. Fantastic. I suspect these walls are going to break, and the occasional enemy up here will probably try to go through that way, or will just be stupid and go all the way around there, which will just infuriate me even more, pointing out how useless that spawn direction or spawn area up there even is. I'm going to actually I'm going to recycle the Wraith that I'm using and the one shot that my defender was using, and then acknowledge that I can't actually afford to craft a new Wraith, which is really unfortunate, unless maybe I can. And again, I can recycle these and then make myself another Wraith. And as for my defender, I do have all these other weapons, so I can assign a different defender with a different weapon. Maybe even a melee defender actually this round, just to switch things up. Take that. Okay, really? Place a hover turret up there, and I'm gonna run back in here. Okay, well maybe he should not be in that tunnel. He should not be running in there. I'm gonna stop that before it becomes a problem. Here, take this thing. I don't even know. I don't know if defenders will even behave nicely with it, but okay. So we're gonna have to acknowledge the fact that we're gonna have flingers throughout this wave, which is going to be quite unfortunate. And it looks like a lot of propane as well, which is also really unfortunate considering that I built in wood. I'm gonna move my base over here just to make sure that my tunnel does not get wrecked by propane. As for that, I'm just gonna blame this terrible spawn direction. Got a lot of pitchers out there because they'll never advance towards the tunnel, so long as I'm up here at least. And I'm only up here because I'm trying to keep an eye out for flingers and pitchers and lobbers or anything that might pose an actual problem. See that they're for whatever unknown reason they can spawn up there and not break these walls. But then I've seen enemies that will destroy. I've seen enemy spawns destroy structures that were within like the nearest two tiles, even though in some cases it didn't even look like they were close enough. I don't know. It's just an inconsistency, really. I'm trying to set off the propanes while they're still in crowds of enemies, just to make them friendly fire as much as I can because I find it very amusing. Knock it off over there. Ow. Okay, let me please run through. Can't believe I got stuck on him.
Launch in 3, 2, 1, liftoff! Bonus challenge success! Good job, team!
Here we go!
Good luck, Lars!
That'll do nicely.
And there it is. Okay, I tapped out of the game because I genuinely had this weird fear of like, what if I'm not recording this? Because I had no recollection of actually hitting record. Well, no, I mean I knew I hit record, but like I didn't double check the same way I normally do. That's all. I don't even know why I had to acknowledge that out loud. And mission rewards with level 4 loot with some battle pass XP, 15,140 survivor XP, really nice. Some gold, way more battle pass XP, and a little bit of drops of rain. A main quest rewards with 32,000 survivor XP, and this guy. And I guess a little side quest about elemental huskies, where we got a haywire storm schematic.
I can't believe it! It seems like only yesterday we were taking our first baby steps into Stonewood,
Oh no,
and
it's been
now
more
we're
than
the
just
reigning
yesterday, right? It
conquerors of
was like that was
Plankerton!
last year.
Alright, no getting sentimental until all the husks are dead. Let's expand our storm shield and get the plank out of here!
Yeah, we'll save that for next time. So next time will be Plankerton Storm Shield Defense 6, where we are gonna have to install a new amplifier and build a whole new like tunnels defense system. Probably try to revamp some of what I already have, which is gonna take a lot of materials that I don't even have, which is going to spark even more of that requirement to do some actual farming, which I might have to do before we can even do Defense 6. Either that or I recycle every single thing in my inventory. And I'm not so sure if I want to do that. When I first logged in, I didn't do research, so let me do that now. Okay, so I upped my offense and resistance, so everything is now matched at 65. And then we do have this epic survivor, the new one, but he's not in squads at the moment. I'm thinking I'll keep him around just in case he becomes assigned to a squad later. All kinds of stuff that I can't afford with my 900 gold. And by 900 gold, I mean 700 less gold than that. So I only have 296 gold. But I do have a legendary survivor that is now on my squad, replacing this one, so I can recycle the survivor and get my resources back. And so considering where I am right now in the game, I think I do need to be trying to get my survivor squads up. And the core reason I say that is like I am severely underleveled. And it would help to have a lot of my survivors, especially the elites and the legendary survivors at tier 2. However, I can't even afford that. We are now at power level 36, though.